So Browns Hall of Fame left tackle Joe Thomas thinks Deshaun Watson has the edge in the quarterback battle. Now listen, we love Joe Thomas, good friend of the show here. But I do have to push back a little bit on one thing specifically. Thomas said, quote, Deshaun is probably going to be the guy. He gives that offense more versatility. That's one thing Shedeur doesn't bring you, the ability to scramble. And that's what I want to talk about real quick. Because if you go look at Deshaun Watson's stats in 2024, before he tore his Achilles twice, mind you, and you look at Shedeur Sanders' stats from last year in 2025, Shedeur Sanders was objectively more impactful on the ground. And this is a pretty even sample, 7 starts for both players. Shedeur Sanders had 169 rush yards in his 7 starts. Deshaun Watson just 148 over his last 7. That's 8 yards per attempt for Shedeur to 4.8 for Deshaun, and both scored 1 touchdown over their 7-game stretches. But here's the big one that goes against what Joe Thomas just said in that quote, that Shedeur doesn't give you the ability to scramble the way Deshaun Watson does. If you go back, both of these guys in their last 7 starts, Deshaun Watson averaged 6.3 yards per scramble. Shedeur Sanders averaged 9.3 yards per scramble. 3 more yards on average per scramble than Deshaun Watson. And listen, I'm not sitting here saying these numbers are outrageously better than Deshaun Watson, but they definitely show that Shedeur Sanders has been more effective with his legs more recently than Deshaun Watson. And I don't believe Watson led the Browns in rushing in any of his 7 starts, whereas Shedeur Sanders had to be the team's leading rusher. I believe it was 3 out of his 7 starts, and he was only like 10 yards shy of being the Browns' leading rusher in 5 of his 7 starts as a rookie. So yes, Shedeur Sanders absolutely gives you a little added bonus with his athleticism and mobility on the ground.